Hey everyone, Visa reported fiscal 2023 third quarter earnings results. So in this video, I'm going to review those financial figures. I'm also going to update my recommendation on Visa stock. Of course, if you've been following me, you know that Visa has been one of my top stocks to buy in 2023. You're going to want to stay tuned to see if I'm downgrading that recommendation or if I'm keeping it the same. So let's get right into it. Total revenue of 8.1 billion was up by 12% from last year. Adjusted earnings per share increased by 9% to $2.16. Visa's results was fueled by payment volume, which increased by 9%, but more specifically, cross-border volume increased by 17% as folks are unleashing pent-up demand for travel. Total Visa cards in people's wallets increased by 7% year over year to reach a whopping 4.2 billion. There are now 4.2 billion Visa cards in use today. That's a phenomenal number, and it's in part one of the reasons why I like Visa stock so much. The other side of the equation is also attractive in that Visa has worked for decades to secure relationships with merchants to accept Visa cards. Both sides of the equation are working in its favor. Because there are so many Visa cards in circulation, merchants are very likely to accept a Visa card because they want access to those 4 billion shoppers, right? To those 4 billion cards in circulation. And so it's a positive, virtuous cycle working in Visa's favor, which will be very difficult for anyone to replicate or to encroach on its business. Now, of course, you might be thinking, well, MasterCard can do it, and that would be true. But the good thing also for investors is that Visa and MasterCard are not competing fiercely against each other, lowering prices, increasing spending, incentives, and all of that just to attract customers. If you want evidence of that, let me point you to operating income, which increased to $4.2 billion compared to $3.4 billion in the same quarter the prior year. Visa's operating income is more than 50% of revenue. More than 50% of revenue, Visa's operating income. That shows you that the company's not spending a lot of money to generate that revenue. Many businesses around the world are envious of the kind of profit margins that Visa generates. Cash flow from operations also increased to 13.8 billion. That was up from 12.97 billion in the same quarter the prior year. Now, overall, an excellent quarter from Visa, and it really puts it in perspective when you look at revenue growth of 12% and you compare it to inflation. The most recent inflation over the prior quarter, if you look at it, at least in the US, was roughly around 3 to 4%. And so with Visa growing by multiples of inflation, that tells you that the company is adding new customers and existing customers are using Visa cards more often than they're using other forms of payment. And that's understandable, right? When you think about it, Visa benefits more so when people are going out and spending money on services, on travel. You're more likely to use your Visa card in that event. Whereas if you're staying at home, shopping online, you might be using other forms of payment like PayPal perhaps, right? So you're not likely to use PayPal when you're away from home and other payment methods on the like. So for those reasons, Visa's benefiting as a result. So to update my recommendation on Visa stock, I will reiterate that Visa remains one of my top stocks to buy. This was just another excellent quarter out of Visa, and the performance in terms of revenue growth and profitability just reiterates my recommendation of Visa stock. But that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.